Welcome to The Explainer. We're diving into something that so many people struggle with, quitting smoking. And today, we're going to look at a method that completely flips the script on how to do it.
So when you think about quitting, what's the first word that comes to mind? For most people, it's willpower, right? It's this brutal fight. But here's a thought. What if that very idea, that belief that it's a battle, is exactly what makes it so hard? What if the whole fight is just a myth?
That belief, well, that's the trap. And today, we're going to take that trap apart, piece by piece. We'll be pulling from the core ideas of the famous Easyway method. The goal? To stop seeing smoking as this impossible habit you have to break and start seeing it for what it is, a puzzle that you can actually solve.
All right, so let's get right into it. The very first thing we need to do is challenge our biggest assumption. This whole idea that you need some superhuman willpower to quit. Because, honestly, that idea might be the very thing that's setting people up to fail.
And here's the thing. It's a huge contradiction, isn't it? The traditional willpower method, it paints this picture of quitting as a massive sacrifice, an epic struggle. You have to grit your teeth and deprive yourself. And what does that do? It just makes you miserable. You're constantly focused on what you've given up. So it's really no surprise that this approach fails so often. Okay, but what about all those sparey health warnings on the packs? You'd think that would be enough, right? I mean, logically, the fear of something like cancer should make us stop on the spot. But our minds don't always play by the rules of logic.
And this is where it gets really strange. It's a total paradox. Those warnings, they create fear. They create stress. And what's one of the main reasons a smoker reaches for a cigarette? Yep, stress. So the very tool that's supposed to help you quit can end up pushing you right back to smoking. It actually makes the trap stronger.
So if willpower is a myth and fear can actually backfire, then what are we really dealing with here? It's not just a bad habit, It's something much smarter. It's a cleverly designed psychological trap, and we're about to see exactly how it's built. Just think back for a second. That very first cigarette, it was awful, wasn't it? I mean, you probably coughed, felt sick, dizzy. Nobody takes that first puff and thinks, oh yeah, this is my thing forever. No way. And yet, somehow we get from that disgusting experience to a state of pure panic when we realize we're running low. How? We get lured in, step by step, painful step.
Okay, this next part, this is probably the best analogy for understanding the whole illusion of smoking. Just picture this. You're walking around all day wearing shoes that are way too tight. It's not agony, but it's this constant nagging, annoying feeling. Then, at the end of the day, you take them off, and that feeling is glorious, right? But here's the question. Was that feeling a real pleasure? Or was it just the relief from a discomfort you created? That, right there, that's smoking.
And that is the absolute key. The cigarette isn't giving you any real pleasure. It's not giving you a boost. All it's doing is temporarily getting rid of the discomfort, the withdrawal that was caused by the cigarette you had before it. A non-smoker, they're just walking around without the tight shoes on to begin with. They don't need that relief because they never created the problem in the first place.
Okay, so if we're going to escape this trap, we have to know exactly what's keeping us locked inside. And it's not just one big, scary beast. It's actually two very different monsters. And believe me, one of them is way, way stronger than the other.
So, the method breaks it down into two separate forces. First up, you've got what it calls the little monster. That's the actual physical addiction to the nicotine. But then there's the big monster. And that is all the psychological stuff, the brainwashing, all the beliefs we've built up that tell us we need to smoke.
And when you actually compare the two, the difference is just startling. The little monster, that physical part, is surprisingly weak. It's really just a slight, kind of empty feeling. In fact, it's so mild you sleep right through it every single night without waking up needing a cigarette. And the best part? It's pretty much gone in about 3 weeks. But the big monster? Ooh, that's the real opponent. That's the deep down fear that you can't enjoy your coffee or handle stress or even have fun at a party without your little crutch. That is the monster we really need to focus on. So, this is where everything changes. This is where we flip the whole script. If the biggest hurdle, the real problem, is that feeling of making a sacrifice, well, then the solution is simple, isn't it? We just have to get rid of that feeling completely.
Just look at the difference here. The willpower method, it's all about focusing on why you shouldn't smoke. Your health, the money, all the negatives. And that just makes you feel like you're giving something precious up. Your brain is just screaming, I can't have it. But the easy way, it's totally different. It asks, okay, why do you actually smoke? And then it just pulls apart every single one of those reasons, one by one, until the desire itself just evaporates. The whole mindset shifts from a painful I can't to a joyful, wow, isn't it great that I don't need to do that anymore?
Because once you really, truly get it, that there is no genuine pleasure, no actual benefit you're giving up, then how can there be a sacrifice? There can't be. The whole point isn't to fight off temptation for the rest of your life. The point is to see that the temptation was just a mirage, an illusion. The real prize here? It's freedom.
All right, let's talk about that final cigarette. This moment shouldn't feel like some depressing doom and gloom event. We need to reframe it completely. We need to see for what it truly is, a celebration. The exact moment of your liberation.
Think about all the other big decisions we make in life. Picking a career, a partner, where we're going to live. There's always a little bit of doubt, right? A little uncertainty. But with this one, the decision to stop smoking, it's unique. With 100% certainty that it is the correct decision. There is literally no downside.
So let's just be brutally honest with ourselves for a minute. When you finally quit, what are you really giving up? What are you losing? Is it a genuine pleasure? A good friend? Some kind of reliable crutch that actually helps you?
Because the reality is this. You are giving up absolutely nothing of value. Nothing. What you're doing is escaping. You're escaping a lifetime of slavery to a drug, escaping the constant drain on your wallet, escaping the anxiety, the smell, the fear. And what do you gain? Your health, your money, your self-respect, your freedom. It is without a doubt the single best deal you will ever make in your entire life. And this is the last and maybe the most important shift in your mindset. You don't have to wait around for weeks, waiting for cravings to fade before you can feel like a non-smoker. No, the second you put out that final cigarette, making that firm decision, that's it. You've done it. You are a non-smoker. You are free. This whole journey isn't about gritting your teeth and enduring misery. It's about enjoying your freedom right from day one.
So when you finally see the trap for what it is, just an elaborate con, a trick that gives you zero real benefits, you have this amazing realization. The prison door, it was never actually locked. All you have to do is decide to walk through it. Just walk out and don't ever look back.